In this video, we focus on a new strategy using the Electro Dragons. This will help you to get the 3 stars at Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. We have lots of tips, so be sure to stick around throughout the video to help you get the 3 stars in 2019. Let's get into it. What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here. Let's dive straight into this first Electro Dragon attack. And what is different here is that I want you to integrate a Queen Walk into your strategy. Let's explain why. So you can see the Queen Walk obviously from this left hand side of the base. Now look at the base design. We do have this area around the eagle, which is ideally designed to not allow your queen to reach the eagle. Now we have explained in recent videos, let's pause for a second so we don't miss too much of this. We have explained in recent videos that the balance changes have basically changed this. If you've missed that, the video is linked in the description to have a watch after this one. But basically, if we section out the base here from that line, our Queen Walk is going to take out all of these buildings. Now exactly what that does is narrow the width of the base for the E-Drags to get through. Now the next replay, we take this even one step further, so be sure to watch that one as well, guys. But as you can see, the E-Drags coming through, they do not have to worry about that left hand side of the base. The Queen has got it. Now how this differs from a regular E-Drag attack is normally you would funnel the E-Drags into the base initially, and a lot of the time they start to fan out from there, and it can become a little bit less efficient towards the end of the raid. If you have an area of the base where you can use a Queen Walk, that is the main difference of this attack. If you can integrate that Queen Walk and take out all of the defenses on the outside, look at this, every building just one tile in is a defense. The Queen gets so much value down that area. She funnels the E-Drags straight into that area of the base, and it works very nicely because you're not just funneling the E-Drags initially, you're continuing to funnel them into the center of the base. And like I said, the next attack takes it even one step further. Now obviously you do have to follow the same principles that you would in a regular E-Drag attack. Now what I mean by that is you're going to have to rage them E-Drags up so that they can chain through. You're going to have to look for the bases and buildings that you can chain through in the center of that base as well. They're more than one tile apart and your E-Drags are just going to stop, not chain through the buildings. You might have to think whether it's the right strategy for the base, and be careful on them sweepers as well, guys. You're going to have to freeze them if your E-Drags are coming through. Let's have a look at this one then. So here's the Queen Walk down at the south of the base. Now if we pause for a second, just look at what value she can get. Because these compartments are kind of sectioned off from the base, the Queen can be responsible for taking all of this area. That is incredible value, and like we said in that first replay, we're basically sectioning off the base, so the E-Drags do not have to worry about this area. Let's zoom out. We've sectioned off this area of the base. The Queen is responsible for this. Notice this little area here. We're actually going to section the base off here with the King and then the Wrecker, so that the E-Drags only focus on this area of the base. Look, pretty effective, especially because when we've mentioned the chaining, all of them buildings in that central compartment are very close. The E-Drags can chain right the way through them. So let's watch it. You will see how effective it is. The King clears out trash buildings on the outside, allows that slammer to target these defenses directly, and again basically just strip off that side of the base so that the E-Drags can concentrate just on the middle. Look at that Queen Walk down at the bottom of your screen. It's so effective, and again it continues to chain. It continues to funnel, the E-Drags into the center. They're not then going to fan out. The slammer is ideally doing the same. So if you are asking me for an absolute ideal base, look at what the E-Drags did. They just chained buildings way off ahead of them. If you're asking me for the absolute ideal base for this strategy, you're going to have to look at an area where you can queen walk one side, slammer the other to E-drag through the middle, and make sure that the E-drags can be funneled into the middle right the way through. You don't want them to fan out, you want them to stay focused, and you want them to be able to chain. Beautiful, isn't it, guys? Look at how effective it is. And the beautiful thing about this attack is your queen can then continue to wrap around the side. You've seen it in the first attack. We still had defenses. Queen wrapped around, slammed it, and helped us to get the 3-star. Now, if you are new to the channel, guys, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell to join the notification squad and see my videos as soon as they go live. So let me know down in the comments, would you add anything else to this strategy for the E-drags? Have you used it with success? Let me know down in the comments. Now we are going to move on to a couple of other air attacks that are very successful, very powerful, strong strategies at Town Hall 11. The first one here being the Lava Loon and the Queen Charge Lava Loon. We also have a Drag Bat coming up, and if you want to know the top 3 Town Hall 11 attack strategies right now, I will link that at the end of the video. Be sure to watch that to see how you can 3-star in 2019. So here we are, P90, getting it done here, and I always like to see a good queen charge, especially with use of wall breakers. It's very difficult to do, guys. This takes a lot to master, and he does it very effectively here. Now you can see that the rage spell not only helps the queen in order to stay alive, but it also helps them wall breakers getting through, and there's so much value. Them rage spells are very much needed down the bottom here. With all of them expos, so much point defense. We take the queen as well. Now because the wall breakers didn't quite make it right the way through, we do have to allow the queen a bit more time here in order to get through the buildings, and essentially what we're after, you can see the CC is about to go down here as well, but this sweeper is a big defense to get down because we want to Lalo around this area of the base, so we have to basically wait until the queen now batters through a wall in order to get through, since we didn't quite get the wall breakers all the way through. Now all of these attacks, you might have noticed, they are by crunch time. We are competing in CWL Invite this upcoming season, so if you are a Town Hall 11 player and you want to compete at the highest level, you can join my Discord. It's linked down in the description in order to join crunch time. So again, as the queen comes through here, she breaks open this wall which allows her access to the eagle, but as we've explained, you can see that she actually shoots from behind this other wall. So this little strip around the eagle is no longer effective. She can actually reach that. It's not to do with the queen, it's to do with a change to the eagle. But once that sweeper goes down, guys, we now don't have to worry about the Lalo getting pushed back. We can easily path it around the top of the base. The main thing we have to worry about is the multi here as we get down to the end of it. So the Grand Warden's ability is very nicely used, moving into it to protect the troops, but also we have a haste spell there. Now amazingly, how on earth did we miss not 1 but 2 wizard towers at the top of the base? Wow, at least 3 balloons knew what they were doing, went back over there, hit that haste spell and blasted through it very successfully. So that is the Queen Charge Lalo. Let's show you a drag bat attack from this war as well. Again, very successful at Town Hall 11 and definitely the meta right now. Now this drag bat attack as well is actually very good because you will see what happens here. And just looking at the base, where would you think we're going to put the bat bomb? We have 3 splash here, only 1 splash at the bottom. So what you would think is we're going to bat bomb and come up this way. No, that's not what Kevin's doing. That's not what Kevin's doing. He's got a better idea, so let's have a look at it. Uses the king and queen again to set that funnel for the drags, very similar to that E-drag attack I was showing you at the start. Uses the lava hound, very successful, because if there's not a single inferno which is going to fry that hound, you can basically tank a lot there, and the sweeper does him a favour, means that the hound doesn't just race ahead. Manages to get the dragons through this initial area, and once they get through the sweeper, we're then onto a better position basically. So once the drags get to the middle, look at this ice golem, fantastic, freezes both the wizard tower and the multi-inferno. Multi-Inferno does come back into it, gets a few bats, but he's got more than enough, and that third wizard tower was distracted by the ice golem on the bottom. Beautiful stuff. Many of you will probably do that in terms of sneaking a giant in, but think about the ice golem as well. It will be able to survive for so much longer, and be sure to distract that wizard tower as the bats are coming through. Does it towards the end here as well. Look at this. Didn't even have the dragons on that area, and unfortunately it just went down before the bats got the wizard tower. But again, the dragons are more than protected here. If you can, maybe integrate a couple of minions to take out these trash buildings, but it's not a necessity. The drag bat tends to be a very quick attack strategy, mainly because you don't need a massive kill squad. You're just using your king on one side, queen on the other. Again, think about what value that you can get. If there's an air defense on the inside of the base, consider putting the queen on that side so she can reach it. But again, once you've done that, the drags are basically just in at that point. You're not doing a huge queen charge or anything like that, so unless you really mess up, you're probably not going to have to worry about time. Let's move on to the final attack of this video then, which is another queen charge Lalo. Now the reason we're showing these guys, Little Sniper is a beast at doing this as well. It's a very strong attack. That's bottom line of it. Now it's hard to master. So what I would say is, yes, you can watch my videos, and yes, we'll give you lots of tips and tricks, but take these tips into friendly challenge as well. Just get practicing with it, because it is going to take a lot of practice. This is not a strategy that you can watch a video and replicate. You're going to have to continue to practice it, and yes, that's the main tip I wanted to give at the start of the video. So in comes the queen charge. Again, look at the sweepers here. We have one pointed to the bottom, one pointed across to the right. We don't have to worry about them sweepers at the moment. The queen is going to be able to get that Tesla farm at the north of the base. Again, Tesla farms tend to be nothing for the queen. As long as you can actually keep the healers away from the Teslas, queen can take them down relatively easily. Continues to snipe some of the point defense up at the top of the base here. In goes the queen towards that air defense, and as she moves around to the top, what we've also done, and this is what you want to get with your queen charge, is actually created pathing here. So although we might have just taken out the defenses there, we've created pathing as well. The Lalo doesn't have to worry about it. The king aims to cut off the funnel here so that the queen will take the jump spell. If you don't cut the funnel on this side, the queen might never take that jump spell. She might just continue to walk around. So make sure you are cutting off the funnel at the other side so that the queen can get in. You can see that the multi-inferno was hitting the healers there as well. Be sure that you are looking at that range, and if your healers are getting attacked, you're going to have to get that multi down as soon as possible. The queen is able to get the enemy queen, the enemy CC, and she's going to step up and get the eagle. I mean, at this point, look at that, just sliding whilst frozen with the tornado trap. That's pretty funny. That was brilliant. So you're going to have to think about value to get, but pretty much in this one, we've taken out everything that we could want. We're going to be able to Lalo around the sweepers. Again, we've got one here, not going to be an issue. This one hits the healers, but again, not going to hit the Lalo, and that's the main thing. You don't want the Lalo getting hit. Lovely heal spell here around that multi-inferno. Again, if you've got lots of areas of splash, consider using the heal spell. If you've got a huge pack of loons, can be very, very helpful, and majority of the loons were within inside that heal spell, and it means that coming to the back end here, yes, we only used a couple of haste, but we've got all of them loons left up because we had them inside the heal. So the queen charge not only created pathing for the loons to come down that side behind the sweepers, she took out pretty much every objective that we would want, and it is included within my top 3 Town Hall 11 attacks, which is linked next to me. Be sure to go and watch that, guys, to help you out. But until next time, peace out.